Hope, hope I am audible.
Yes, sir.
You're
Yeah.
audible.
Good morning. Good morning to all.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good
Morning.
Hello, everyone.
I hope you're
Hi.
able to see me and hear me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So, very warm welcome to both of you. We are very, very excited to have both of you today for this very relevant and, topic. This is going to be a great benefit to all the students, faculty, and institutions who are joined us today. Of course, we have a lot of attendees today in this link itself, but apart from that, this is also getting telecasted live on YouTube. So they will also be watching this there, and if we have any questions from them, then we'll take it forward. And on that note, I very warmly welcome both of you, and I'll request my colleague Neha to kickstart the webinar. Neha, over to you.
Give me a second. I need to change my
Sure, sir.
background.
No problem, sir. Please go ahead.
Yes. I'm ready now.
Sure. So Neha, please start.
Yeah, thank you, Mekla. A very good morning, everyone, and a very warm welcome to each one of you. GHRDC welcomes you to today's webinar titled AI Automation and Digital Transformation, How Emerging Technologies Are Changing Traditional Engineering Roles. Thank you, everyone, for taking out time and joining in with us today. We are very delighted to have with us experts from industry and academia for the discussion. On behalf of the GHRDC team, I welcome our expert panel members. GHRDC, as many of you would be aware, is a 28 years old education research firm dedicatedly working in the education sector in the area of ranking, training, mentoring, and research with the sole aim of working on upgrading the quality of education in various sectors and benchmarking the best of the educational institutions of our country. Today's discussion will revolve around the topic as emerging technologies reshape industries. Traditional engineering roles are becoming more dynamic, interdisciplinary, and digitally driven. For students and institutions, this shift brings both opportunities and challenges, requiring new skills like adaptability, digital literacy, and continuous learning. Today's session will explore on how to navigate and prepare for this evolving future of engineering. We will now be inviting our distinguished speakers to talk about this exciting topic. Also, I would request our wonderful attendees to type in any questions if you have for our speakers in the chat box given along with the name of this speaker you want to address your question to. Now, I would like our director and ranking head, Ms. Aradhana Changakoti, to introduce our eminent speakers for today. Over to ma'am.
Thank you, Neha. I'll now read out the profiles of today's speakers. Dr. K. Ramakrishna. Dr. K. Ramakrishna is a professor of mechanical engineering and dean quality at KLE Education Foundation, KLEF. He joined KLEF as a faculty in 1989. Prior to joining KLEF, he worked as an assistant engineer at the Gindi Machine Tools Private Limited from 1984 to 1987. His early research at KLEF included heat transfer analysis of thermal systems, transport refrigeration system, gas turbines, and compact heat exchangers. His work at KLEF also included analytical prediction of thermophysical properties of nanofluids and improvement of engine performance using biodiesel blends. He received his PhD degree in heat transfer from Andhra University in 1999 and pursued his postdoctoral fellowship in the Agricultural Research Center at Clovis, New Mexico State University. He has published more than 106 technical papers in referee journals, edited books, and conference proceedings, made more than 50 invited and keynote presentations, and served in different capacities in over 10 technical committees. Under his guide, 8 scholars have obtained their doctoral degrees and 3 more are pursuing. He acted as a member of many Andhra Pradesh state government committees. His awards include the President of India Gold Medal, Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan Teachers Excellence Award, and many Best Teacher Awards. A very warm welcome to you, sir. Mr.
Thank
Sanjay
you very
Jha.
much. Thank
Mr. Sanjay Jha. Mr. Jha graduated from IIT Bombay in 1995. He has worked in senior engineering roles in many product companies in India and US. Currently, he is Chief Product and Technology Officer at Voxmox.ai, building products in conversational AI space. Prior to this, he co-founded Let'sVenture.com, India's largest platform for early stage startup fundraise. At Let's Venture, he built Trika Equity, an ESOP and capital management product for startups, which was acquired by Vested.com, a UK company. Sanjay loves to play tennis and badminton. We welcome you to our webinar today, sir. And
Thank you.
And we have Ms. Mekhla Sinha, the Executive Director of GHRDC, who will now be acting as a moderator for the discussion today. With this, I request Mekhla to now take over and initiate the panel discussion.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Aradhana, and a very warm once again welcome to Dr. Ramakrishna and Mr. Sanjay Jha. Like I said, we are delighted to have you. And as you can see, we are a house full today. This is not just the total list of participants in the meeting, but it's also being telecast live on our YouTube channel. So we will be having a lot of institutes and students and faculty members, and of course industry and parents as well who will be watching this. Before I jump into the questions, I also want to share that like we were sharing, these webinars are aimed at skill upgradation, knowledge upgradation, and for the benefit of our student community especially. And today I'm very happy to tell you that we are not just joined by the engineering students, but also by various other courses of students. And that shows that how much this topic is relevant to every sector, every industry, irrespective of whether it's tech or non-tech. So without any delay, I'll start with my first question, which is for Dr. Ramakrishna. Ramakrishna, when we talk about the whole space of AI, which is very intriguing to all of us at the moment, and there is just so much happening in this area. We are being completely swept over, literally, by the kind of enormous changes that are happening in the industry at an extremely fast pace, so fast that we are hardly able to keep up with it. And we're really, grasping with the reality of things at the moment, that what really is happening and how much our careers and industry and sectors are going to change. So every change starts with education, and every educational institution has their curriculum, which is the starting point for anything new that's happening in the industry. So my first question to you is that, as far as curriculum is concerned, keeping in mind that this is such a fast-paced change that's happening of AI, automation, Internet of Things, and all digital transformation that's literally taking over, are we really aligned in terms of our curriculum, and are we ready to face this? Over to you, sir.
Yeah. So in fact, as you said, there are a lot of changes happening in the academic as well as in the industrial sector over a period of time. When I take example of my own institute, when I was the head of the Department of Mechanical Engineering, the highest intake was in the Mechanical Engineering Department with 600 students per annum intake. But now today, the situation has reversed, and Mechanical Engineering is having only 60 intake, with highest intake is for computer science and engineering and allied branches. So it is because the trend is changing with advancement in industrial sector. You all know that Industry 1 That 1.0 started with invention of steam engine, and industry 2 is with electrical invention and which started mass production. And industry 3.0 revolution is when the computers and electronic gadgets are invented. And now we are in the industry 4.0, where the emphasis is given for smart, connected, and autonomous systems. So where intelligent systems that can communicate, analyze, and make decisions real time are gaining importance. And is aligned with even the scenario changes in education 1.0 to 4.0. Now, in sync with the industry 4.0, education 4.0 is also redefined, which is aligned with the fourth industrial revolution and leverages the artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and Internet of Things to enable highly personalized learning for the students. And moreover, as per the accreditation agencies defined in India, technical education board like NBA, they all focus on critical thinking, lifelong and skill-based work, and the major facts. So real-time data exchange and autonomous decision making, mass key features of the present industrial 4.0 revolution. So to meet this industry 4.0 requirements, all students have to go through the core technologies and the core subjects like artificial intelligence and machine learning, Internet of Things, industrial Internet of Things, cyber physical systems, big data analytics, cloud computing, robotics and automation, digital twins, additive manufacturing, augmented reality, and virtual reality. And out of all these things, beyond doubt, already it is established that artificial intelligence and industrial Internet of Things are going to be the backbone for Industry 4.0, enabling real-time monitoring and decision making possible in the system. And this Industry 4.0 is very significant for our country's economic growth, as well as to meet the global competitiveness in various sectors. And this also warrants the transformation of jobs, which demands only high-skilled engineers. Unlike the other days, all the unskilled works will be taken up by the machinery through automation. The skilled jobs will have over the youth to take up in near future. And this kind of smart systems, when you introduce into the industry, they reduce the waste, they reduce the energy consumption, and they also create less impact on the environment, which will again align with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So in India also, the Industry 4.0 implementation has started at large scale, and through that Samarth Udyog Bharat 4.0 initiative, which is aimed to promote the smart manufacturing and create awareness about the Industry 4.0 is there in Go, which has trained many students and professionals. And even with these efforts, India, we can say that our country is still in the nascent stages of Industry 4.0 adoption, and still a lot of challenges are there, such as lack of skilled workforce and high technology costs. So when you talk about the status of education, that is the current state in India, we have more than 1,100 universities across the country, with 50,000 and plus 51,000 plus technical higher education institutions, and more than 8,800 engineering institutions, producing around 10 lakhs plus engineers every year. And all these are controlled by the statutory bodies like AICTE, NBA, and UGC, etc. And recently, the relaxation given by the AICTE and other statutory bodies made institutions to adopt artificial intelligence, data science, and emerging technology courses and programs in their curriculum. And of course, no doubt, most of the institutions have now started giving emphasis on project-based learning with industry collaboration. This is another initiative taken by the All India Council for Technical Education. Even then, employability still remains a serious concern because there exists a mismatch between the skills that are obtained by the graduates and the industry expectations. So therefore, even today, large number of unemployable engineers are there on roads. Those who do not possess necessary skills to suit the industry. So what is that? What kind of alignment we have to do to meet this requirement? If you say one is most important thing is curriculum updation. See, today most of the students in southern India are preferring only computer science engineering and allied branches, and the importance given for core engineering branches has become very less. So as I said, if you take mechanical engineering, civil engineering, or electrical engineering, or even electronics and communication engineering, the takers are very less, and it is very in 2 digits only. Whereas in computer science and allied branches, it is going up to thousands. So therefore, universities have to change the curriculum, and they have to update their curriculum, incorporating the artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, and data science. And these universities have to start collaboration with the industries and promoting the internship and training of the students in the relevant areas. Only skill development initiatives, programs like robotics and automation courses, etc., when they introduce, then only there will be demand for the core engineering branches also. Even with all these things, these efforts, if some of the universities are found, they are still following the traditional curricula, and alignment exists in intent, but it is not in execution. They are trying to incorporate this, but their intentions are not fulfilled, and the execution level, they mostly fail. And when I just want to say that our university has started incorporating the skill component in the education long ago. For example, when all the other curriculum structure says lecture, theory, and practical, in our curriculum design, subject design, we have lecture, theory, practical, and skill component also. 4 hours of skill component gives the students 1 credit. 2 hours of practice will give them 1 credit. So these 4 hours of skill component introduced in all the core subjects will enable the students to do the practice thoroughly, whatever they have done in the practical lab, and they with the hands-on experience, making them more robust, gaining more robust experience about the theory that they have learned. So the major gap that is identified in the Indian academic system is the academics give overemphasis on theoretical learning. Still, since a long time, you might have known that, aware that until last 3-4 years, the number of credit requirements for an engineering graduate in some universities has was up to 210, 212 credits, where now AICT intervention, it is reduced to 160 to 162 credits. Even without 162 credits, the universities are not satisfied, and some of the private universities and deemed universities and other Indian premier institutions, in the name of offering minor degrees, specializations, honors, etc., they are overloading the students with more number of credits, that is another 30 credits plus another 20 credits, etc. Anyhow, when these are met in the right direction to satisfy the requirements of Industry 4.0, that definitely will help the country. But what is happening is the emphasis is given for more of examination related, more theory, mathematical problem solving, etc. Whereas the industry now demands problem solving, hands-on skills, and innovation type of experience. So therefore, that is the major gap identified in the engineering curriculum. And similarly, there is a lack of interdisciplinary learning. For example, when Industry 4.0 um, requires the integration of mechanical, electrical, electronics, and computer science all together. But now the present curricula developed by the universities or institutions is siloed, and they are all department centric or program centric, which leads to mechanical engineers lacking software skills and electrical engineers lacking system integration knowledge. So with this, you cannot expect those core engineering graduates of mechanical and electrical engineering to flourish and gain jobs in the market. And similarly, there is insufficient exposure to the emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, robotics, etc. At least the institutions must come forward to offer them as optional electives, and students graduate with the core Industry 4.0, enable them to graduate with the core Industry 4.0 competencies. And there is no industry academia collaboration also at present, and which is leading to superficial things. There is no time to productivity gap for the students. So, and there is no hands-on experience or experiential learning for the students, whereas industry now today demands real-world applications, practical problem-solving skills, etc. And not to mention here, most of the laboratories in government universities and other universities, particularly in core engineering branches, are outdated and the equipment is not sufficient. Projects are often theoretical rather than practical. Though the government, AICTE, and other statutory bodies are insisting on capstone type projects with fabrication, etc., many institutions, because of the number of intake, with high intake and with high capacity of the students, they could not able to manage, and leading to the projects, even major projects, as theoretical projects only. And the focus on soft skills and employability skills is also less, thereby making the students lack of teamwork, critical thinking, adaptability, and innovation, and there is no research orientation. So these are all the different gaps. In addition to the gaps in the curriculum and student orientation, some of the major institutions are facing the faculty skill gap also. Most of the faculty are lack of industry exposure, and they are not ready to learn the things. They do not want to update their knowledge, and that is why they, when they are not trained in the emerging technologies, which leads to outdated teaching methods and outdated content, pedagogical approaches, make the students not to learn anything which is needed at present. And beyond all these things, most of the government universities, of course, some of the private also, are having the culture of revising the curriculum in a span of graduation period. That means if you take 4-year BTech program, they revise the syllabus only after 4 years. Similarly, if you take BSc or BCom, a 3-year graduation, they revise the syllabus only after 3 years. So, which is not correct. The curriculum updation every 4 years, 5 years will not help, and whereas Industry 4.0, which is evolving rapidly, requires the curriculum updation every year, introducing more electives, introducing more professional electives, changing the content, and in consultation with industry, including the industrial experts in their board of studies, in their academic council, they have to be in touch, and they have to offer different certification courses to suit to the industry requirement, and they have to completely change the curriculum course structure every year to meet those demands. And As I said, laboratories are mostly outdated and there are infrastructure limitation also. And most of the industries in the institutions are not coming forward to spend money on buying the original simulation tools, and they are not able to create the advanced labs. They are only adjusted with the what is that free software that is available on the net, and they are not updating that, which will not be sufficient for the students to be ready for the industry needs. And similarly, the real industrial problem exposure is also less. So these are the different difficulties, gap that are found. And majorly, I can say that the root cause of all these gaps is, number one, regulatory constraints. Though some managements of the institutions are interested to change the curriculum or introduce new courses that are required for the Industry 4.0, like AI, etc., the regulatory bodies will not allow them because of the rigid framework and because of the limited flexibility given to them. They could not able to do. And similarly, the resources constraint. So especially Tier 1 institutions are having good resources, whereas Tier 2 and Tier 3 institutions, they do not have sufficient resources, and the curriculum is not able to keep pace with the changes that are happening in the curriculum, and the industrial participation is also weak. And that leads to low employability, skill shortage in the industry, increased training costs, and reduced innovation. So what to do overcome these things is, first is integrate the curriculum with the Industry 4.0 requirements, adopt modular and flexible curricula so that students will be exposed to the latest requirements of industry. And moreover, the institutions must promote interdisciplinary education or multidisciplinary programs, encourage STEM-based learning. So that is the most preferable issue. And similarly, industry-led labs and long-term internships they have to promote. They have to readjust their curriculum such a way that the students must be given free time, at least one semester internship or one full year project work. Like that, they have to adjust the curriculum. And as I said, they have to give less emphasis for theory and more emphasis on project-based learning, more emphasis on hands-on work experience, more emphasis on skill-based learning, etc. should be used. And that is a experiential learning should be adopted by organizing more hackathons or by making the students to solve real-world problems. Most of the traits that are required for the graduates are only on paper, like critical thinking and critical problem solving skills. Actually, these are possible only when the faculty members are able to give them open-ended questions. But because of paucity of time, because of more number of students in the classroom, faculty members could not able to venture in that kind of open-ended questions because it takes more time for them to evaluate. Perhaps at this juncture only, the artificial intelligence and these type of tools will be helpful for the faculty member also to evaluate the students by giving different questions to different students, different kinds of problems. And faculty development is also important. All faculty must be exposed to the industrial requirements regularly, and they must be given training in all emerging technologies. Smart labs to be employed, that means to be installed in the institutions, and more digital tools and simulated softwares the institute has to purchase, and they have to train their students with reference to this. More focus should be given on internship and the startup funding and like incubation centers, research funding, all these also should be thought of. So therefore, with this kind of continuous curriculum update, industry feedback integration, involving industry people in the Board of Studies and Academic Council, and then and going beyond the examination, and by giving more emphasis for evaluation in terms of practical skills, etc., it will be helpful for the academia, that is the present academics, to overcome the gaps, and it will be able to suit to the requirements of Industry 4.0. So bridging these gaps, the curriculum, by systematic transformation, um, India can fully harness the potential of Industry 4.0 and produce engineers who are not just employable, but also capable of driving innovation and global competition. So this is what I feel when compared to when you want to say how the Industry 4.0 is affecting the academic curriculum and the curriculum structure across the country.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much for this wonderful, very elaborate and very detailed feedback on how institutions should work on aligning themselves, because this is the starting point when we talk about these changes in the industry. And if the education institutions are not able to catch up with it, then it becomes very difficult for them to really deliver that in the industry.
Yes.
So my next question is to Mr. Jha, who comes with a wealth of experience in this sector. In fact, he is working on the latest of AI in various fields, and I'm sure he will tell us a lot more about what he's working on. And we, as you can see, Mr. Jha, we have not just engineering students, but we have a lot of computer application students also who are watching this, probably pursuing BCA, MCA courses. And apart from that, also non-tech students who have joined us today. So my question to you is, sir has given us a tall order of various skills and various courses that students need to update themselves. How should they prioritize these skills? What is it that they should firstly focus on when it comes to AI or ML or robotics or Internet of Things or cybersecurity or any of those things? What would your list be for them, and how would you advise them to prioritize that?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Mekla. And yes, it's amazing to hear Dr. Ramakrishna talk about a breadth of topics in terms of what the next generation should think about, plan for, and how academic institutions should evolve to cater to the new AI era, as I call it, right? So just to briefly touch upon my background and what I do currently. So at Voxmos.ai, we work primarily on conversational AI. What that means is we incorporate AI as chatbots, voice bots to bring enterprise knowledge at the fingertips, where people in the companies can get answers in English form with respect to all the knowledge that they have. For example, at DRDO, one of the laboratories in Telangana, they wanted a chatbot to answer all the questions for all the research documents that was available within the laboratory, right? So that, and through simple English language. Similarly, we build voice bots which allow customer service departments to answer to customer queries or field create service tickets, installation requests, etc. All through the voice bot itself, through the AI itself. There is no need for having a human call center agent anymore. We also work on various custom projects in the field of AI using latest models. We sometimes install our LLMs into on-premise servers and so on. So that is just to give you a brief background so that you have some context. Of course, I have not seen the entire world, so I will talk about the question you asked based on my limited context. But over the last sort of 30 years, I've seen a lot of software fields and the industries. So I will use that to answer your question. But just to briefly also, I would like to encourage participants to ask questions, make it more a conversational, seminar or conversational webinar, rather than, both of us, Dr. Ramakrishna and me, giving our own, thoughts about and, monologues, etc. Right? So to answer your question, Meghla, yes, all these areas like AI, ML, you talk about data analytics, IoT, robotics, etc. Cybersecurity also, right? All these areas you mentioned, I think in the coming era, or at least next few years or decades, all these will explode massively. I mean, that is my take on it. But at the same time, when I say these will explode massively, you should take it with a pinch of salt. Why do I say that? Because these are the same fields where AI will make a heavy contribution, or it will play an important role, right? So it will be able to do a lot of basic level work. Like, of course, we know about how coding has changed over the last 6 months massively, and a lot of basic level of coding is now done by AI models directly. So what should the students do, right? And that is a question all of us should answer and help them decode the next few years of their career.
I would say that's $1 million question right now in front of these students. In fact, more so in front of the computer application or computer science students, because they have been being educated on coding, and now coding has been taken over completely by AI, and even better than what humans can do. So that's a very important question that you can answer for them.
Yes, yes. So I will devote my time on that, because that's something that I have personally experienced at Voxmos and before, and also I have decades of experience working in software field, so I can leverage that to answer those and predict the future and show you the crystal ball, right? If I may. Yes. So as a student, if you want to succeed in the coming era, what should you do? My first suggestion to you would be that develop an area of interest, right? All these areas we talked about, data analytics, AI, ML, right? All these areas are good, but they are only as good if you have developed your interest. You will not grow into an area, you will not go deep into an area unless you have deep interest in that. So develop an area of interest and then try to go deep and understand it, because if you have an interest, you will spend more time, you will work harder, and eventually you will succeed in that area. So first suggestion is develop an area of interest. Pick any of these. All of these are brilliant areas and will grow massively. But develop one area of interest and develop deep knowledge, because superficial knowledge, like Meghla was saying, right? It's going to be done by AI. So you need to develop deep knowledge, and then only you will be able to succeed, right? Next, what I would also encourage you to do is go one level up, right? Like we all know, AI is able to do a lot of simpler coding tasks, right? So I'll give you an example, right? When all of us, when at our age, when we joined, when we passed out from graduation from engineering college, we'll get an entry-level software job, right? And then we work for 4 or 5 years. We do the coding and we become better at it. We are able to design systems, and then we will get a promotion to become a tech lead architect, or even if you go into engineering manager role, right? But now, I would encourage you to think that moment you graduate from an engineering college, you should think of joining the company as an architect. Why? Because you will have 10 AI agents working for you. Think of them as 10 AI co-workers working for you, which will do the basic level coding, right? So what do you have to do as an architect? You have to now take the customer's problem. You have to think of the overall design. You will have to, find the pros and cons of different approaches, and you have to solve the real world problem, right? So sir was talking about, Dr. Ramakrishna was talking about how solving real world problems and providing a solution is becoming critical. And that is what AI is not going to do for you, right? So learn that skill and try to think yourself that you are no longer going to join a company as a programming software engineer or a programmer, but rather as an architect, right? And if you think like that, I'm sure you will develop the skills, you will develop the knowledge to be able to do that and grow into that role, right? So solving real world problems and critical thinking and all these things are going to be very, very much important. I will talk about few skills that also you should develop. Of course, while engineering skills, coding skills, these are important, but at the same time, things that are not going to be done by AI. What are those, right? AI is not going to talk to customers. AI is not going to, that is going to be done by you, right? So as a student, you should think about improving your communication skills, right? Improving your management and leadership skills, critical thinking, problem solving, building a company. These are the skills that will never be able to be done by AI. So that is something that you should learn. And Dr. Ramakrishna also touched about how, you should participate in more industrial, for example, internships. You should, participate in more hackathons, which give you real world exposure. Try to build products rather than just, learning algorithms, right? Because AI is going to give you those algorithms very easy. It is going to code for you, right? So you should learn to use those algorithms, not just, let's say, earlier you could learn maybe 5 or 10 data science algorithms, and then slowly you join a data science engineer as a data science engineer as a company into a company, right? But now you should know much more than that, right? You should know hundreds of data science algorithms. Try to find what are the pros and cons, which algorithm provides better results for this particular use case, right? So only when you are able to do that, you will be able to build customers' requirements and find the right solution. Those are the skills that it will be very much important. So you should get more exposure to industrial problems. Learn to communicate better, articulate better, pitch your ideas to investors. Learn to build products rather than just write code, or rather than just designing a screen or creating backend. You are no longer a front-end engineer, back-end engineer. You are a product manager, right? So I lot of sometimes tell people that you are no longer a software engineer. Think of yourself as a product manager. So you are building products, and simultaneously part-time you are doing coding or overseeing coding being done by AI agents. So you are an engineering manager or product manager as soon as you graduate. That's the level of thinking that you should develop. I'll probably pause there, and yeah.
I think that's a beautiful summarization of what you've shared with students. And I think this is such a beautiful way of describing it to them, that don't consider yourself just as a coding student or a something that you're doing a course in, but really think beyond and think about design thinking, problem solving, strategic management, and of course having as much experiential experience with companies as possible. And I think you touched upon a very important skill set, which is communication and interpersonal skills. And this has been of great importance right from time immemorial. But I think even now, and even more so now, this is going to become an even more important area, because empathy, compassion, understanding the human element is going to be still there. It's not going to go away just like that, So that is where the aspect of their contribution comes in very highly.
I'd also like to add that, these are the exact same skills where, our, sorry to say, but our educational institutes do a very bad job at, right? And of course, like Dr. Ramakrishnan said, it is more, what you call regulatory in nature. So we can't change it, but at the same time, that is what is needed, right? If you can't talk and understand customer problems, and coding is being done by AI agents, what else are you going to do, right? You have to build products. So you have to understand customer problems, being able to articulate how the solution is going to be there, being able to articulate your problem to your managers and help them understand, okay, this way is better, that way is not so better, so on, right? So all these things are going to be extremely important. I mean, it's not just a namesake, but it is extremely going to be important.
Right. And when you say that, this is not just optional, this is mandatory, are there any specific workshops, courses, anything that you would like to recommend that they can start doing online and start building a digital portfolio while they're still in college, and utilizing that time while they're doing their studies in computer application or computer engineering or any other engineering course that they're doing, or in fact, even for the non-tech students? So anything in particular that you would like to recommend?
I don't have any, sort of preference for any workshop or courses as such, but I can definitely tell you the skills that they need to gain, right? And those skills are primarily communication skills, problem solving skills, product building skills, multidisciplinary skills Dr. Ramakrishna talked about, right? It's not just about learning your one particular department and courses in that department, but multidisciplinary skills. In fact, let me give you an example. I think all of you or many of you must have heard of Demis Hassabis, right? He was the founder of DeepMind. So he had an interesting profile, right? He came to the AI summit that had happened in Delhi like few months ago, right? Or probably a couple of months ago. And he spoke to all of us. So his profile is very important for us to understand how innovation or research is going to happen in this era. So he was a PhD student in neuroscience. He did not study computers, right? He was a PhD student in neuroscience. And what did he do after that? He was building computer games, right? He was building computer games, but he was brilliant at that. He built a computer game called AlphaGo, which back in 2016 was the first one to beat world number one at this computer game called Go. It is a Chinese game, which is very complex, much more complex than chess, they say. I mean, I've never played it, but his computer game was able to beat the world number one in 2016. So that's how he became famous. After that, he created another AI-based solution called Alpha Gold or something like that, which solved a 50-year problem in biology, which was not solved. He was able to create the 3D modeling of proteins based on their genome structure. And that led to massive discoveries in the pharma space. And he became very famous after that. AlphaGold, I think it is called. And that's when after that Sundar Pichai hired him and he made him head of Google DeepMind. So he now he's the CEO of AI research at Google. And he's driving LLMs, which is like hardcore software and mathematics area. So such multidisciplinary approach like neuroscience, gaming, and now hardcore computer science LLM is what is going to be driving cutting edge companies, right? And success of your company or your idea, right? So multidisciplinary is another aspect that is very important now, and people should learn to understand and leverage it. I think I will speak, probably take a couple of more minutes, talk about entrepreneurship. And this is one area that all of us, and especially while you are studying, should learn and develop, right? It's not just about building something, right? It's also about selling. It's also about marketing. But the idea was to inculcate the entrepreneurship skills if you want to, you can develop these through a number of online sources or go to some of the startup meetups, etc., and be able to get that skill. From you, and that is the one that is going to drive success of you, your company, and probably you as a career using AI, by leveraging AI, but driving far greater outcomes from it in the coming era, right?
Brilliant. I think
Yeah, Mr.
have
Sanjay,
been
1 minute, madam.
better. Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah, as rightly pointed out, the capstone projects are becoming more and more prominent nowadays. They are going to solve the problems and they are going to meet the requirements of industry because a capstone project involves multidisciplinary knowledge and whatever he has studied right from the first semester to last semester, all those fundamentals and all those uh, things he has to involve, he has to embed in that, and then he has to build a model. So that kind of hands-on experience will help him to learn what Mr. Sanjay has suggested. Like he will understand the intricacies in purchasing everything, in the financials, and then in the economics of it, and all those things, and accounting, all those things he will be able to learn. So that is it. And if you permit me, I just would like to say what we are doing at our university. In our university, right from the first year onwards, we introduce the courses like design thinking and innovation. The first year, first semester itself. And then problem solving through programming, we are now making the students to learn Java. And then fundamentals of web development. And in the second semester, data structures and algorithms, front-end development frameworks, and UI engineering, digital design and computer architecture, computational foundations for artificial intelligence, mathematics for data science and analytics, database management systems. These are the courses we have introduced in the first year itself. So to make the students to understand the crux of and these courses are not only for computer science and allied branches, these courses are common for all branches of engineering. Even MBA, MCA students also can undergo these courses. In addition to that, what I would like to emphasize is we have the alignment with the different skilling centers like Google Academy, AWS Academy, and then Samsung Prism Center, TensorFlow, FinTech Council, etc. And thereby we offer different certification courses, global certification courses we say, and those global certification courses the students to by the industry needs, and they become, for example, if you have for programming and competitive coding, the PCAPI certification, Certified Associate in Python Programming certification, or C Certified Professional Programmer certification, EPAM diploma, CTS Digital Nurture Gen C certification, and similarly with reference to cloud and development of OPs, you have AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner certification, and then Google Associated Cloud Engineer certification, Microsoft Certified Developer Engineer Expert certification, Red Hat Certified certification. See, why I am telling all this? Because we have the autonomy and we design the curriculum in such a way that the students will be able to learn the required certification courses exactly in line with the requirements of industry. So as Mr. Sanjay has pointed out, unless the students are oriented in that particular direction, there is no meaning for getting the graduate. Statutory requirement already says you have to test the students' critical thinking enability skills. You have to test the students' entrepreneurship skills. You have to test the students' teamwork capability. All these traits are embedded in the mandatory requirements for graduation, whether it is a pharmacy or engineering or architecture or whatever it may be, even for MBA, management also. But education system, because of different constraints, they are not testing these required skills for the graduates, and graduates are coming out with half knowledge and half requirement. That is where, sorry.
Sir, I
Yeah,
would like
please.
to just add some thought into your mind or head, if I may. So, some of the topics you touched about the programming skills and all, definitely the way it is taught currently in the universities is, you learn certain concept and you have to practice it and you have to, next answer some questions. Those are no longer required in that format. And
Yeah.
if I may suggest, right, management institutes, for example, have long moved to case study based education.
And
So
most of the MBA courses, they do case studies
case
and they
studies.
buy
So
case studies and then they do it.
yes. So when you study a course, every project or every time, even the classroom, the professor will take a case study and debate about it,
Then
why it
correct.
happened this way, why it happened that way. And if I may, I would encourage that, even engineering courses should adopt that, because a lot of the basic knowledge or rote knowledge is already going to be available through ChatGPT or such LLMs. So what is
Exactly.
required is the discussion, thinking, on your feet thinking, brainstorming ideas, designing or discussing pros and cons across various approaches. And these can be driven only by you, sir, because you
Yeah.
are going to direct the how the courses are going to be taught, and students will just follow you. So if you change the approach of your teaching, I'm sure the entire education system will change.
Exactly. I will just give me 1 minute again. In our curriculum, in the last semester onwards, we have introduced project-based learning. Along with project-based learning, we are at present following top-down approach. That means when a subject content is given, we don't deliver the content as it is, but we start the class, the first class, with a model or with a project. For example, I will take a calculator. So if I want to build this calculator, what is the knowledge required? And what is the content required? And that particular content is explained one after the other in a serial way, such that the end product he will understand. And that kind of approach we are following, top-down approach, and we are implementing in all core courses the project-based learning approach. So that will enable the student to gain more hands-on experience. Of course, we have started very recently, last semester only, this kind of project-based learning approach, and that will be most useful for the present day scenario. I think, Mr. Sanjay, I think you will accept this thing.
Yes, absolutely. That is a very good idea, sir.
So I think one thing is very clear from what Dr. Ramakrishna and Mr. Jha, both of you are suggesting, is that this is an era where we are not going to be just, content with the course per se, but a whole lot of variables are involved now when it comes to skill building or knowledge sharing or practical experience with the industry, interdisciplinary approach. So, for example, a computer science student or an engineering student in any stream, or computer application student in any stream, cannot just be content and satisfied with their course, but they will have to build up on various other interdisciplinary aspects of their courses, whether it is management or law or psychology, or for that matter, something completely unrelated. Like Sanjay, you were talking about product designing and problem solving and understanding the the situation of the company and what they're facing, the kind of challenges, and how to really put forth your ideas, how to create something out of it, and think like an architect. I think that is something which is going to really change the way students will have to really approach their current courses. And I have a very important question, especially for Mr. Jha. In fact, we've been talking so much about AI in the last 1 hour, but there is something which is very important as far as the ethical aspect of AI usage is concerned, and the whole aspect of using it ethically, and of course, for the best of everyone. So would you like to put some light on this particular aspect? Because again, this is an area which can be misutilized and go in a direction which is not really very favorable. So if you'd like to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, sure. So yes, if you are, as a person building AI system, if you are into that role, then definitely this is a very important area, because what you build and how you leverage AI to interact with your users, and if you don't pay attention to ethical and your moral and legal responsibilities, it may go haywire, right? For example, think of your AI being used and someone could build a bomb, right? Or rob, or penetrate the cybersecurity of a bank and hack accounts, right? Or worse, withdraw money from your bank account, right? Use fake images, for example, which could cause riots, and this has happened, right? So all these things can happen, and these are things that if you are building your AI system, you should provision to guard against it, and you can do, these are called guardrails, right? So you should add guardrails in your AI system so that these things don't happen. And just to kind of enumerate these things, things could be like preventing harm to society in general, right? So which I talked about, causing riots or cyber security and stuff like that. Preventing privacy of customer data. So if you are, for example, through your chat bots or voice bots that we build all the time, if somebody inadvertently, a customer gives their password or Aadhaar number, we need to be cognizant of that and discard that input and not pass it on to the backend system, so that their privacy and integrity is maintained, right? We need to, if there, I mean, we don't come across it, but if there is a case, you should guard against caste or religion not to be used as a bias, right? You should make sure that your AI systems are fair in terms of their responses, right? Transparency, something that we do. For example, when our voice bot opens up or starts talking to the customer, we openly say that, hey, we are an AI assistant, and my name is so and so, and then start speaking. So the customer knows, very transparently that we are there talking to an AI bot and not a human being, right? And lastly, we take care of putting human in the loop. So if there are cases where the voice bot is unable to answer, then there is a way for customers to be able to escalate that or transfer that case to a human agent, so that there is a option to for the customers to actually talk to a human and not just get stuck into the loop, and stopping hallucination. These are some of the things that you should guard against, and all of this will make your AI more ethical, more transparent, and more legal also.
Yeah, we are facing this kind of problem even in education system, particularly while submitting the research articles. Most of the research articles are now written using the AI developed tools. So there are softwares available to catch that, and then most of the articles are returned to the authors with an indication that this is AI driven, and with the ChatGPT, 60% of it is so and so. In addition to plagiarism, the use of AI tool and ChatGPT is also alarmingly increasing, and that need to be restricted. And of course, ethical point of view, everybody should be careful.
Right. And just my last question to both of you before we wrap up this wonderful session that we could have actually gone on ahead with and keep talking many more such things. If you had to advise your younger self of things that you could have done at that time, because we have a very young lot who's watching this, the 20s group, what would that be? What advice would you give to that self of yours? This is a question for both of you as a parting remark.
Yes, sure. So I'll go ahead maybe. Yes, if I was studying today, I would learn to live with peace with AI. And that's something that I would like to stress upon. I mean, even at my current company where I am working, or where Voxomus.ai, when we started leveraging AI to code, some of us would come and say, sir, please don't use AI, because your coding skills will, start to decline, right? And it may be correct, but the sad reality of the future is that you cannot live without it, or if you don't use AI tools, you are not going to be performing at the right level of performance that you can, right? And therefore you will start becoming laggard, right? So first advice I would give to somebody studying right now is to let's not think AI versus human. We have to think AI plus humans. And the moment you come to peace with it, you will start to prosper, right? And all of you must have heard this famous joke, right? That two friends go to a jungle and they are resting and they hear tiger roar it from some distance, right? And one of the guys starts putting on shoes and starts running. And the other his friend says, "What are you running from?" Right? The tiger is going to be faster than you anyway, right? So he says, "Sorry, I don't need to run faster than you. Sorry, I don't need to run faster than tiger. I need to just run faster than you, right?" So that's the reality that you should understand. AI is not going to replace engineers. Engineers are going to be very much in demand. And my contrarian theory is that world is going to grow. Software engineers are going to be more required. But only those engineers who use AI will be replacing those who don't use AI, right?
Correct.
So that is what you should learn and firstly, and be at peace and be happy with that world. Even if some people will say, okay, your cognitive ability will decline. Sorry to say that it may decline, but you may go better at managing bigger things, managing bigger jobs like product management, like building systems and so on, right? And I talked about entrepreneurship skills where ideas and execution is much more important, right? And lastly, building real systems. And I talked about it earlier, but I will stress upon it again. Try to build real systems while you are at college. It is no longer an option that you get into a job and then you learn, and then after 4 or 5 years you get into something meaningful. No, now industrial stage is at a stage where such skills are going to be required from day one, where you will be asked to build real systems because you will have 10 AI agents doing the other job for you, right? So then you have to think about a product architect, a product manager, right? So start getting into that mindset and start getting real experience on that front from your college days only.
Yeah, for that point of becoming entrepreneurship, Indian government has started around 26 incubation centers across the country with a lot of funding. The students are funded up to 5 lakhs for their startups. If they come with an innovative idea from within the college itself, they can present, or across the 26 centers, they can do pitching and they can get the grant, which they need not pay back again. So they can use that amount for their growth. To become entrepreneurship, Government of India is given all those facilities. So anyhow, from my side, from as an academician, my suggestion is students should change their mindset to learn the courses in an interdisciplinary manner. They must have one thorough understanding of one area, and then from other areas, they have to broadly develop their knowledge. For example, a biotechnology student, if he is having only knowledge related to biotechnology, it is of no use for him. And if he choose a minor in informatics, bioinformatics is having a very bright future. Mechanical engineering, as it is, if you want to be a core mechanical engineer, he has no future. But if he learn automation along with that mechanical engineering, he has a very bright future. Nobody can beat him now, even in this AI era also. So therefore, my suggestion to the students is all, whether they belong to sciences or engineering or management, they must have the basics of AI. They should know data literacy, and they must have some introductory knowledge about automation. And then stream-wise, they can go for a artificial intelligence application or advanced electives, deep learning and robotics, gaming, all those things. If they wish, they can learn. Otherwise, with these fundamentals, they will be able to flourish in their own area of expertise. That is what I feel.
Thank you. We have one question from a student attendee, although I feel it has already been answered, but we can still take it up. Neha, would you like to take up that question? Or Aradhana?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have actually more questions, but first let's go with this one. I think Mr. Jha can answer this question. How can engineers ensure they add value beyond automation as AI continues to take over repetitive tasks?
So you're on mute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, I think we already kind of touched upon that. And yes, AI will do good or do well as a basic level, entry level engineer, and it may do it even very fast and very good job at it also. And that is why I advise all of students to go one level up. Think of yourself as somebody who is now playing a bigger role of, let's say, in the software world, building systems, building products. And then earlier you do get into that role after 4, 5, 10 years of experience, but now you should plan to get into that role upfront. And what is required for that? All that is required is to open up your mind. Like I think somebody was already asking, participate in hackathons, participate in startup pitching, right? And sir was talking about project level learning, right? So all of these will help you learn how to build real systems, real product, and get into that architect and product manager kind of role from day one. And that is what is required, nothing else. So just open up your mind and be ready to learn.
There's a related question to what you've just answered, Mr. Jha, about prompt engineering also. That what is the impact and the significance of prompt engineering in all of this?
Yeah, so I think all of us, sorry, Dr. Ramakrishna, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, no, please continue.
Yeah. So I think prompt engineering is part of our lives now, and that's why I talked about learn to live at peace with AI. So AI plus humans and all of us. I think, in fact, it's the right thing for even non-engineers to learn, because prompts are the way for LLMs to understand what you are asking and how it should respond. So I think the importance of prompt engineering has diminished over last several months because LLMs have got so much better at understanding, and you don't need to be good at prompt engineering anymore. But some of it may still be required. But nonetheless, the ability for you to ask the right questions to an LLM and derive answers from it is equally important, and it's going to be important forever. So prompt engineering is something that all of us should learn and live with it. But earlier, the nuances of it, the engineering part of it was more important. It's no longer important so much now.
Right. And Neha, there is.
Yes, there is one question for Mr. Ramakrishnan. How mentally we should prepare ourselves before hackathons? And one more, that what are the things we should keep in focus before integrating AI in our skills?
Yeah, hackathons, as we have discussed, are very important for the students to develop the overall knowledge of the coding part or the competence. So within the time frame fixed, they should be able to solve a project or they should be able to solve a question. So therefore, comprehensive knowledge of that subject they should possess in their mind before they participate in a hackathon. And the more and more practice in that particular domain is helpful for them to do well in the hackathon, because mostly the hackathons are time limited. So they are 24 hours or 48 hours or even sometimes 10 hours hackathon. So there are different kinds. So if you want to win in the hackathons and if you want to participate and successfully come out of that, you need more of practice rather than theoretical knowledge. You must be exposed to the variety of problems. You should be able to solve the variety of problems, and then you will be able to mentally crack that hackathon, or you can succeed in that hackathon. That is,
I would just like to
what is
add
the
it.
other question?
Sure.
Yes, sir. So there was another part of the question. What are the things that we should keep in focus before integrating AI in our skills?
AI, as Mr. Sanjay has already pointed out, AI cannot replace engineers, and even automation also. Something if you are able to automate means it is an unskilled work. Then the moment you automate a event or a task, it becomes an unskilled one. And engineers are meant for skill purpose. So AI, you cannot think that AI is going to do some harm or like that. Only for unskilled part of things will be taken over by the automation or AI. Still, the strategic decision making lies with the human beings. So it will only give the analysis part, which is very difficult for you to analyze, which takes months together for analyzing a large amount of data. AI will do in split second. But based on that analysis, what decision you have to take and what are the next steps, it all depends on you. So therefore, in that direction, you have to think, and then you feel comfortable and try to gain that kind of traits. So therefore, there will be no problem for you. This is what I can say about that AI.
Mr. Jha, you wanted to add something to the point that Sir was sharing?
Yes, I think there was a question regarding hackathon, right? So
Yes.
I was going to add that, a lot of times I have seen earlier days, right, when in companies, people used to call themselves, I am a data science engineer, I am front-end engineer, I will do only back-end coding, I will not touch UI, right? I don't know UX, right? All these things are getting blurred now, right? And when you go into hackathon, this interdisciplinary understanding becomes very obvious, right? Unless you know everything, you are not going to build a product that the hackathon demands you to, right? So first and foremost, you should try to get practice of building these end-to-end systems. You are no longer front-end engineer, but you should look at front-end, back-end, data science, AI, everything together. Even though you may not be great at it, even though you may not be expert at it, but at least you should learn and be able to think at that level where you can actually build meaningful products or meaningful solutions, leveraging all of these aspects. Then only you will succeed at AI. And to do that, just need to practice. There are a lot of open source code available and projects available that if you put your time and some few hours at it, you can understand that very easily.
Right. I think both of you, if I could summarize, are in short telling the students to look at the bigger picture and not just be of the micro view and of the course and of the world that they are in right now. And I think a beautiful way to summarize this entire webinar is that think of this entire change as AI plus human rather than AI replacing humans. I think that was a brilliant, summarization of this entire webinar. I can't thank you both enough. I mean, this, as you can see, we've already exceeded the time limit, and this is such an amazing topic and of such great relevance that we will probably continue more such conversations with both of you in our, future series of webinars and on these kind of topics. And like you saw today, there were a lot of questions from the student community. So thank you both so much for your immense, incredible knowledge, experience, and all the points that you shared for our dear student community. I would once again express my heartfelt gratitude to both of you and request Neha for a closing note before we end.
This was a very fruitful and enriching discussion. On behalf of the whole GHRDC team, I would like to express my appreciation and gratitude to all the participants for taking out your time to attend the webinar. A very sincere thanks to our panel of experts. Your presence has been invaluable and has undoubtedly made this webinar a great success. Thank you so much, everyone, once again.
Thank you, Dr. Ramakrishna. Thank you, Mr. Jha. Thank you so much for your invaluable inputs today.
Yeah, thank you all and for organizing this. I would have just expected the participants to ask more questions, which didn't come through, but yeah, nonetheless, it was good experience.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much,
Thank
sir.
you for giving this opportunity. Thank you for meeting you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Have
you.
a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you all. Bye.